Welcome to R&B Sauce with myself, DJ Pineapples. Today I am joined by a very special guest, an incredible singer, songwriter, producer, and Grammy-nominated legend. He's just released his ninth, right?
Yeah, I think it is ninth.
Ninth album, Co-Star. Welcome, Eric Benèt. How are you?
DJ Pineapples, what's up?
I'm good. How are you? How you doing?
Feel slightly jet lag, but anxious to talk to you.
I can imagine. 8 hours difference, right?
Yeah, it's like sometimes I think I got a handle on the whole time difference thing, but there are nights like last night where I didn't fall asleep till 6 a.m. and.
Bless you. I literally went to bed at 3 a.m. and I woke up at 8, and I thought that was hard for me. So I can imagine for you right now.
No, it's all good.
So your debut album was called True to Myself, right? And looking at your career nearly 30 years later, it really feels like your music still carries that same authenticity. Like, how have you stayed true to yourself all these years later?
That's a good question. I think I got a blessing mixed with a rude awakening when my sister and I first got signed to EMI Records, EMI Capital, years ago. That was my first experience of the major label situation. I was born and raised in Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's it's a fairly big metropolitan area, but not really. So it was a lifelong dream as a young musician and singer-songwriter and a kid being plucked out of Milwaukee and signed with my sister. We were a brother-sister duo. But that experience was one of understanding, how do I say this? How power has a way of making you feel as though you must relent to authority. We each had very strong music sensibilities and we knew what we liked, but we were in this awesome system of the major record system and major record labels, and they were kind of telling us what kind of record we should make. And we should have fought harder for our own statement, but we didn't. And we kind of made the record that EMI Capital wanted us to make. And they sort of released a single. And then they dropped us. And then, oh my God, the dream is over. The dream is done. And for my sister, she was like, okay, that's all I needed, baby brother, to know that I can abandon everything in my life for a year. And she quit her job. We moved to LA, and then the record label decided to drop us. She's like, I'm done. You go ahead, you do this thing. And I'm like, well, shoot, we just proved that we can get a record deal. So I told myself if I ever had an opportunity to have another record deal, I would make sure that I insisted that the creative statement, my autonomy, my say was the last one on both the artwork, the music, and that's what happened at Warner Brothers.
I love that.
Yeah,
because I can imagine, when someone's told you what to do, you followed it. You might not have wanted to do it yourself, and then you get dropped.
Yeah,
that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's like we went from playing obscure clubs in the Midwest, the kind of places you go where there's 50 people and most of them are drunk, some of them are passed out, and you're trying to do your show. And I'll tell you one thing, that experience was the best. I dropped out of college after a year and joined this band, but being in the band was actually my college, right? That was my learning experience for my learning how to control an audience that was unruly, didn't really want you on the stage. They wanted the next band, don't like you for some reason up there singing. So you have to take all of that and turn it into something that pulls them in emotionally and sound good and sometimes break up fights.
Oh my gosh.
So
that sounds like development. You went through it.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real development. And so, it was, it was the best of times, and it was the worst of times. But I can't really say the worst of times, because it's interesting about that time in my life before I got my first record deal and I dropped out of college and I'm in this band and I'm making literally $70 a week. Had no money, but I had some of the best fun I've ever had in my life, and I look back on all those experiences of struggling and struggling in tandem with people around you who were in the band with you. And, we're all kind of in this struggle bus together.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's part of the story.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And then I guess when you do make it and, you become Eric Benèt, it feels even better. Like, you remember them days when you were struggling and you were going through it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And that's funny. I've always, even now, I still feel like I'm just, the hungry kid from Milwaukee. I don't really.
That's so important, though, to keep that.
Yeah, it's like, it's been amazing to me to witness some of the personalities along the way that believe the hype. And it seems like such a miserable existence, to have your sense of validity, your self-worth based upon the perception of others. And
yeah, you seem so humble, Eric.
Well, thank you for that. I got my Mobile, Alabama parents to thank for that. First of all, I'm from Milwaukee. I can't be too uppity about that. But my parents, very grounded, humbling individuals from Mobile, Alabama, and
amazing.
From the South. And I think it was that. My parents were raised in a time in the States where, before the Civil Rights Movement, and there was all the stories that you may have read over here in the history books. That was their life. No blacks can drink from that water fountain, or you can't live in this part of the neighborhood. And
wow.
Yeah, so my parents were very humble but prideful people. Yeah.
So do you know what, Eric? Let's talk about your classic song, Georgie Porgy, right? For me, so I go to a lot of open mic nights, and that song is always being performed. Always, honestly. Wow. It's such a big favorite in the UK. Like, we love it. That. And do you know what? I discovered recently that is a cover. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And the cool thing about that is, do you guys, is Toto a big thing over here?
I know the song Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one.
So
that's the only
Toto
one.
was one of those groups when I was a kid. Kid. I'm not that much younger than Toto, but when I was, when I'm, junior high school and Toto was starting to really blow up, I idolized those guys, as a young songwriter. And to find out that the guys who wrote Africa and 99 and all these incredible songs, they were also like some of the most sought after session musicians in the game back then. Like they're playing on some of your favorite R&B songs.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Like but the emotions, what you find. Boom, boom,
yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Toto playing in the background. And it's like, the musicians from Toto were hired as studio musicians. And it's like so many records like that. So me being the music nerd, I love their musical prowess. I love their production. And so when I decided to do a cover of one of my favorite Toto songs, Georgie Porgy, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, man, it'd be really great to meet those guys one day, and I hope they I hope they like my version of it. And one day I met, it wasn't too long after the song became a hit, I met David Paish, who actually wrote it in Toto. And sweetest guy in the world. He was like, you know, LA dudes. They were like, you know, these white LA guys. Bro, I really like what you did with Toto, man. You really, wow, that's really cool. Your spin on it is really cool, bro. And I'm like, this is incredible.
Yeah, that's got to feel special.
Yeah, it's incredible.
For sure.
Yeah.
So how did Faith Evans end up on the song?
Well, that was another one. Like Faith, like a couple years before Georgie Porgy, Faith just blew up on the scene, you know, with her first album. And Faith was one of those names in the industry when you think of vocal incredibleness. Like Faith, and I had the pleasure of seeing her perform live before I asked her to be on. She didn't know who I was, but to see her live and to see her vocals and to hear some of those albums, like Soon as I Get Home, and it was just a wish list. It was like, okay, if I'm going to do my version of Georgie Porgy, you know, Cheryl Lynn is on the Toto version, the Toto original, who's amazing. And I thought, okay, who comparable now can kind of be our 1998, 1999 Cheryl Lynn? I was like, oh my God, you think Faith would do it? We reached out to her. We sent her the demo. We were amazed that she said yes. And she was everything that I thought she would be on that record. She was incredible.
Yeah,
and she did it. And Faith she did a lot of those harmony arrangements on Georgie Porgy.
Wow, yeah. No, she is so special. Her and Chucky Thompson, that debut album when it came out.
God.
Oh my gosh!
Yes,
that's still one of my favorite albums.
Yeah,
ever.
And that's. I mean, are you a musician?
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, you got that vibe because
I sing. I grew up singing.
Oh, okay. So, well, there you go.
I'm a credit reader.
Yeah,
I love
okay.
that
See,
too.
there you
That's
go.
Me.
So it's Faith that you got the Chucky, but. Yeah, that was the feeling of all the musicians and all the artists at the time when Faith hit the scene. It was like, who in the hell is this girl?
Yeah.
And this production and this writing and these vocal arrangements. And I was palpably excited when she said yes. And she was just somebody else that when she came to the studio and we were doing that session, she was the humblest of humble. And, you know, and she was going through a lot of, you know, drama at the time, you know, with stuff. But no, it was incredible.
And you know, we're talking about looking at credits. So when I was looking at the credits of that song, I saw Something for the People come up.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I remember My Love is the that used to be my song.
Those guys, we came up together.
Wow.
Yeah, so I used to, Fuzzy, the lead singer, God rest his soul, yeah, we were roommates together in North Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I lost that EMI deal, I got dropped. I had to go back to Milwaukee, and I would go back and forth to LA to try to, you know, get my stuff popping again. And I stayed with Fuzzy. And so, yeah, those were some very difficult, but I look back on them and they were just incredible times in my life.
You know, you hear that now, even because I go to LA as often as I can. And I know so much people go there and they're struggling. And especially now, it's so expensive to rent. But it's like Hollywood is where everyone goes. And I feel like right now, though, the producers in LA are incredible, from Campa to D-Mal. Like, I feel like LA is the place to be.
I've been so fortunate to have, I mean, still, LA, I feel like depending on certain decades, people might tell you, nah, you got to be in Atlanta. You got to be in Atlanta. That's where all the producers are. And then it's like another decade, New York, man, that's where the producers are. And it's like, but right now, I think LA is having quite a resurgence of producers. And you're right. It's kind of the place to be.
So, you know, talking to Campa, I know that he is on your album, The Co-Star. How did you guys get connected?
Camper is such a beautiful dude. We got connected mainly through my business partner, Allison Ball.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one who actually signed me originally, my sister and I, to EMI. So, you know, Camper, obviously, he's just been like killing the game for some years now. And my, so my business partner, Allison, she said, what about Camper? Would you like to meet with him? Like, hell yes, I would love to meet with him. And that first meeting, he just started playing some tracks. And the thing about Camper that I loved was he had a perfect, he has a perfect mixture of old school sensibilities, but he's like a new school producer. And I love that about him. Because he's a church boy. You know, he'd come to my studio and I'd have to ask him to get off my piano because he's just church boying all over my piano. And but then he comes up with the sickest beats and incredible energy, just wonderful joy to be around. Yeah.
We need that musicianship in music, you know, it's so important.
Well, you know, I couldn't agree with you more, especially now.
But do you know what? What do you think of right now? Because when I looked at the Billboard top 10, we literally have Kehlani Folded and Leon Thomas Mutt. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of feeling like a bit of a revival right now in mainstream. Because I feel like there's been some great R&B coming out, but in terms of mainstream being played on the radio a lot, it seems like right now is a great time for R&B. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think I think people miss that soul, you know. I think I don't know, man. I think for years now the substance of hip hop has been very influential in not just R&B but the entire industry. And I think I'm going to sound like an old man now, but you know, in the early 2000s and the 90s, like hip hop meant something else.
Mm-hmm.
I think hip hop meant something with a little more depth. And yeah, there was a lot of party music and a lot of you know, almost like junk food hip hop. But I felt like the balance of saying something real and talking about something real, there was a nice balance, right?
100%.
And I kind of feel like, I don't know, man, the lyrical low vibrationalness of hip hop kind of affected that low vibrational thing, became pervasive for a while. And it feels like now some of the lyrics are starting to hit a little harder, and I think that direction is bleeding over into like people are realizing, oh yeah, we do miss something with a little more depth. And you go back to the source, which is soul, which is R&B and soul, and I think it's gradually, you know, kind of making a resurgence now, right?
I completely agree with you. I feel like bridges, and also for me, I'm going to sound old as well, but like the heavy auto-tune is very off-putting for me personally. Like, I'm not for it. I understand.
Can I tell you? It's like, let me put this down. I'm not going to say no names, but the first time it hit me was, I'm not going to say no names, but this was a legendary producer. And I'm used to like producing like my own stuff or working with producers who I want to work with. And then when it comes to my vocals, I'll just like do my vocals. But I was asked to be in a session, and this was a while ago. This was probably, was this 12 years ago? And I forgot, it was like, I was doing a vocal for a project he was working on. It wasn't like my album, but he specifically asked me to come. And when I got to the studio, I got in the vocal booth. He's like, all right, let's go in there and get some vocals. I was like, cool. I went in the studio, and the auto-tune was on.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's like when I put the cans on, I'm hearing my voice in auto-tune. And I'm like, whoa.
What is this?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I knew what auto-tune was at the point, but I was like, yo, do you know the auto-tune is on? He's like, yeah, that's how we do it now.
No,
And I
please.
asked him, please turn it off. But then that's just how it's done. It's very rare for a singer to go into the studio now and just like, I'm gonna just do my vocal. Can you like turn up? It's just assumed that as you do your vocal,
that you have everything on.
Yeah. It's wild. It's
For
really
me,
wild.
it gets rid of like the feeling. I can hear like the roboticness of it, and it makes me not connect as much.
Well,
so I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, you're removing a human element of the human experience.
Exactly. But you know, with new R&B artists, I love Alex Isley, and I know you have her.
She's incredible.
Album.
She's incredible.
And your song "Remember Love," produced by Antonio Dixon as well, a legend.
Another legend.
Love Antonio
I've
Dixon.
been so fortunate on this project.
How did you guys get together?
I got to give it up to Allison again. I mean,
Allison is she's a connect.
She did it. Like, she made the suggestion. She's like, because we were thinking, you know, it's like we're having this big meeting, not meeting, but probably a dinner. And just making a wish list of everybody all these incredible female vocalists we wanted on the project. And she was like, what about Alex Isley? Wow, that's dope.
Yeah.
And then her energy in the studio, now that I think about this, and I'm just realizing this, her energy was very much like Faith's was in that Georgie Porgy session, because Faith came in like, Faith is so reserved, and she's like actually shy, and she was like, can I just have a minute in the booth by myself? And Alex, she has like this very reserved personality, but then when you put her in the vocal booth and let her go, it's just like, y'all hear this girl? So yeah, she's like that.
She's got a very calming, very sweet energy, right?
Incredibly accurate, yes.
I interviewed her last year, and she sang as well, and I got to go to her show, and her tone, you guys, I feel like you complement each other so beautifully on that track. That's definitely one of my standouts.
Oh, I love that.
But the whole project is crazy. Like the first song, we were talking about it earlier with the Camper production and Ari Lennox. And I'll say she does the first verse.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then we have Melanie Fiona. Like, you choose great features.
I've been blessed. I've been truly blessed to have these women say yes. You know, it's like, because we realized, of course, that when we endeavored to do a duets project, that schedules and obligations and I don't know, personalities, we were like, oh man, are we crazy for wanting to do this? But I could not be more overjoyed with the final product, and how, like, this is a moment in my life where I'm going to look back on, you know, hopefully decades from now, and I'll think, man, that duets project, that was really special to pull all of that talent together. And yeah, I'm really proud of it.
It definitely was. And you know, you're Eric Benèt, like people grew up listening to you. You're so respected, and you are doing a show in London Sunday, right? Next week, Sunday,
Yeah.
You're going to be in Brixton.
Yeah.
And I need to come down. I'm so excited to see you. I saw a clip of you actually singing Sometimes I Cry. And I was like, what is going on? Like, you sound incredible. Like, the notes that you're hitting.
Thank you.
So I'm so excited to come to your show.
Yeah, it'll be
And it's
great.
going to be great. Have you got musicians as well with you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, see, I knew that you were going to say that. So that's why I asked. See, for me, when I go to a live show, the live music experience, I need it.
It's got to be real.
It has to be there.
It's got to be real.
So Eric, you know, you've been touring a lot. You've dropped your 9th album. What is coming next? Like, what is 2026 looking like for you?
I'm very excited to release my first Christmas album. I've gotten a chance to, is one of those things that I've always wanted to do, but the timing was never right. And it's called It's Christmas. And I specifically chose Christmas songs that people may not either know or may not expect, and written a couple originals. Did that with my music writing partner Randy Amata. And please listen to it now. I'm really proud of it. I'm finishing my first novel also.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a fantasy for young adults. And I'm especially proud of that too. It was a branch of my creative tree that's always been there, but I've actually been working on it since 2018. And I'm finishing that this year.
I love that, branching out into different creative avenues.
You got to.
And you know what? So one thing about you, Eric, right? I was on TikTok randomly scrolling and a video of you came up and I was like, you are hilarious. Like, your personality is amazing. I love the fact that you don't take yourself too seriously.
No, you can't.
You have a joke. And I was saying to my partner, I was like, have you seen Eric Benèt?
Yeah,
I just want to let everyone know that when it comes to social media, you need to follow Eric Benèt.
I agree with her.
You need to.
Because I need your follow. You know, how, oh my God, how prophetic was it of me way back in, when did I do it? 1997, for me to write a song called Why You Follow Me. When I'm scrolling through my, like, who's following me on social media, and I think I'll say it out loud. I'm like, why you follow me? And I'm like, oh, I wrote that. Right?
Wow, all these years later, right?
All
That
these
title
years
right
later,
there.
I'll find like one of my favorite actors. I'll be like, oh, why you follow me? So it's crazy.
So Eric, you need to let everyone know your social media handles so that they can tap in with you.
Yeah.
What are they?
I suppose I should know that, shouldn't I? So on Instagram is at Eric Benèt, and I think it's, on Instagram it's at Eric Benèt, and I think it's the same on TikTok. I think it's just
straightforward. Your name.
And go to my website if you want to see my tour schedule and whatever else I got going on at ericbenet.net.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for talking to me on R&bsauce. You're such a legend.
Well, thank you for saying that.
The fact that you sound so amazing 30
you.
years later. I can't wait to come to the show. And on R&bsauce, I'm going to be supporting you, playing your music all the time. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you.